I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Good morning. My name is Cameron Barnes. I am a recent graduate of Central State University and an alumnus of the Push Excel HBCU Tour. I welcome you to our weekly Saturday morning broadcast live on the Impact Network and streaming on Facebook Live. Today we'll present information on our virtual Push Excel summer program, our virtual Push Excel HBCU Tour, our oratorical program to be highlighted on Saturday, August the 1st, 2020, and we will update you on our Rainbow Push Food Justice program. Today you will hear a once-in-a-lifetime interview with Reverend Jesse Jackson about his sit-in 60 years ago. And don't forget to get your copy of Reverend Jackson's latest book, Keeping Hope Alive, and it's now available in audiobook format. Join me and join the movement as we push for change. You must get a membership in Push and register to get ready to vote in November of 2020. And please do not forget to fill out your census forms so that we can be counted and make sure that we guaranteed funding for things that we need. I'm Cameron Barnes, and let's continue to keep hope alive.
Good morning. My name is Christiana H. Gray, and today I will be reciting for you Everybody Dies, But Not Everybody Lives by Prince E.A. It is not death most people are afraid of. It is getting to the end of life, only to realize that they have never truly lived. There was a study done, a hospital study, on 100 elderly people facing death, close to their last breath. They were asked to reflect on their life's biggest regret. Mostly all of them said not the things they did, but the things they didn't do. The risks they never took. The dreams they didn't pursue. So I ask you, will your last words be, if only I had, hey you, wake up. Why do you exist? Life is not meant to wait for the weekends and pay rent. No, I don't know much, but I do know this. Every person on this earth has a gift. So I apologize to the Black community, but I can no longer pretend. Martin Luther King, that man never had a dream. That dream had him. See, people don't choose dreams. Dreams choose them. So the question I'm getting to is, do you have the courage to give the dream that picked you, that befits you and grips you? Or will you let it get away and slip through? Thank you, Operation Push, for this opportunity. And I just recited Everybody Dies, But Not Everybody Lives by Prince E.A. Thank you.
Every summer, Push Excel brings you a state-of-the-art summer program. This year is nothing less. We are doing a virtual STEM program, and this year we will have theater, archaeology, music, arts, fitness, basketball, even Zumba. So, family, friends, everybody sign up, ages 7 to 15. Go to www.pushexcel.org for you to sign up for our virtual summer STEM program. As well as at the end of the summer, starting August 15th, join us for our virtual college tour. We will have an entire week of activities for our high school students. Jump on the bus, www.pushexcel.org. All of our high school students, you will not be disappointed.
on the campus of Howard University. And not only did I get my education here, and I am an alum of this illustrious university, but of all of the HBCUs, Push Excel is going to be bringing to you a virtual tour, not only of Howard University, founded in 1869, of Senator Kamala Harris, of lawyer Thurgood Marshall, of people like Taraji P. Henson and Felicia Rashad, but we are also going to be bringing to you universities like Tuskegee University, universities like Fisk University, universities all across the world and nation that are rooted in rich culture, education, history, and networking abilities for our historically Black colleges and universities. So, August 15th, get on the bus, go to www.pushexcel.org, join us, and learn about our rich culture and heritage in the education and the rich history that's rooted within our culture. It is worth it to understand and learn about our own history.
Hi, I'm Bill Laurie, Cook County Commissioner of the 3rd District. It's my great pleasure to be back here at Rainbow Push, partnering once again with Reverend Jackson as we deliver food throughout the 3rd District. Today, we'll be taking the food which we've gotten from University of Chicago to Lawless Gardens. I've already talked to many of my friends there and they can't wait to get the meals. So again, Reverend Jackson, thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Maria Calvillo. I'm representing El Ruiseñor Community Center and Rogers Park Colectivo. Thank you very much to the Reverend Jesse Jackson and to World Center Kitchen to donate this great food for homeless that we have many around us, and I appreciate that organization like this help us to help others.
Hi, I'm Norman Brown. I'm the director of Individual Advocacy Group, Suburban Cook program for individuals 17 and a half to 21 years old. I'd like to thank the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., the World Central Kitchens, and University of Chicago for these healthy meals. I will distribute them to our youth in the program. Thank you very much for these delicious meals.
Good morning. I am excited because we have relaunched our Rainbow Push Food Justice Program in the city of Chicago. We're also doing food justice services in our Silicon Valley office. We're soon to be launching food justice in all of our satellite cities, and hopefully food justice will be coming to a city where you live. What we're doing in Chicago is we are partnering with a number of restaurants and even one of the universities in the city to make sure that students, families, homeless persons, persons living in shelters, persons who are living in domestic violence facilities, seniors who are living in senior homes on fixed income. We're providing meals for refugees and immigrants in the city. And each of these meals are sponsored by World Central Kitchen. They're providing meals every day to people who are food insecure. We also want to thank the Valari restaurant. They provided meals during this period of COVID. We also want to thank the Let Us Entertain You restaurant chain. They've been providing meals. And then the University of Chicago has put resources in the hands of African American caterers and restaurant owners so that they too can provide meals each and every day for families. We've been serving several thousand meals each and every week since COVID and the shelter in place has occurred in Chicago. We're still providing meals, and if you're a restaurant owner and you want to be able to donate and support our food justice program, we welcome you. We thank all of our elected officials who have been distributing some of this food in the communities where they have been elected. We have many of our aldermen and our county commissioners have been a part of our food justice initiative. And the other thing that we're looking to do is to change the public policy that would allow families to not have a sufficient amount of food to eat every day. We will be, during the summer, partnering with our Black farmers to make sure that we go from farm to table in the city and in cities across the country, making sure that our Black farmers' products, fruits, vegetables, and meats. We'll be able to see them in our stores. We thank all of our supporters, all of our sponsors for our Food Justice Initiative. We thank Mr. Yusef Jackson for helping us to coordinate these many restaurants. And thank each one of you that deliver food, help us to package the food, to take it to those who are in need.
Today and every other Wednesday, we are doing the Feed the Hungry program at the New Faith Missionary Baptist Church. So really, over 30 years ago, my grandmother started doing this Feed the Hungry ministry, and she would come and she would cook every day or every Wednesday in our cafeteria area. But when COVID happened and we had to shut that down, Push was offering these meals, and I asked them, could I have meals to take back to the New Faith Missionary Baptist Church for our Feed the Hungry program? And so today we are revitalizing that program as we have for the last few weeks, and we're giving away food to the community.
Yes, sir.
While we're here, we're giving out food still to feed the hungry and just helping. We need to help. So that's what we're trying to do. We're helping that, trying to help as many as we can. Ma'am, do you have children? Put it on top of it.
One of our first and foremost areas of service is helping people to eat. And so we need to be able to help people. And now we're living in food deserts and grocery store deserts on the back end of violent protest and unrest and looting in the south side of Chicago. And so now we have elderly people, people with disabilities, people who are less fortunate, who are not able to get adequate food. And so our first and foremost area of service is to feed the people in the community. They're living in deserts. We've got to be able to help the least of these in any way possible.
We want to make sure as many people as possible can benefit from the supplies we have. We don't want our children to go hungry. We don't want our seniors to, we don't want anyone to go hungry.
Of course, we're always grateful to the Rainbow Push Coalition, Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're grateful to the community. These caterers, World Central Kitchen, Volare Italian Restaurant, the University of Chicago, all of our partners in this food distribution program. The Reverend Dr. Howard Randolph and First Lady Randolph thanks you. The New Faith family thanks you. The Auburn Gresham community thanks you. And we are here at 8400 South Halsted Street every Wednesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. giving out food to the community.
Where are you going to?
Minnesota. This has been a long journey.
Since June 2nd, Terry Willis has been hiking his way from Alabama to Minnesota. One foot in front of the other, with one mission summed up in 3 words.
Change, justice, equality.
After witnessing the death of George Floyd while in the custody of Minneapolis police, Willis says the issues associated with systemic racism have reached new extremes and for far too long have claimed the lives of people who look just like him, and he says it's time people of color be seen and respected.
I've been arrested over 100 times. I've been tased. I could have been George Floyd. So I thought of the most extreme thing, which was walk 1,000 miles from Alabama to the exact location where George Floyd was murdered.
But before reaching the finish line, he finds himself here at Clientele Barbershop on the city's north side, where his mission is hitting home for both followers.
I've been following him since day one.
And people like Rory Purnell, who want to share in the same experiences Willis is marching for.
I want equality. I want to be treated equally. When I walk in the bank to get a loan for some commercial property, I want to be able to be treated as just as anybody else that comes in.
Now, just a day shy of nearing the finish line, through the mission and the message, Willis is finding hope in the work that's already being done.
History being made,
yes,
just so inspiring.
We all know that we need change in this world. It's sad that it's taken this long and this many murders for us all to start doing something.
Good morning. We are in the midst of a major drive to get more members, more people engaged and involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in public policy and you want to help change the policies that impact those incarcerated, change the policies that impact students attending colleges and universities, if you want to be a policymaker, then you need to join Rainbow Push and join by paying your $35 right now. Some of you watch us every week. You listen to us on the radio. You're viewing us in social media. We need you to become a member. It's only $35 a year. If you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, we've awarded more than $10 million to scholars year to date. What do you have to do to give and support Push? It's really very simple. You can go to rainbowpush.org if you're on a computer and press donate. Give any amount. Every dollar is important. You want to talk to somebody, call us at 773-256-2775. You can give right now, any denomination that you choose. You can text the word PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. Text the word on your cell phone. Most of you have a cell phone. Just text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444, and you can give any amount that you feel comfortable giving. Or call us 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and just press donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
Well, two conversion experiences. One was my knowledge of Black history. 246 years in legal slavery. Only African Americans have known the plight of being enslaved by the Constitution in this country. And to live through that and walk through that was a painful part of my intellectual development. In July 1960, I went to jail trying to use the public library. I could not use the public library because of color, 7 classmates and I, and my father, a World War veteran, World War II veteran, could not, he had to sit behind Nazi POWs on American military bases. So my knowledge of slavery as our legacy, a great part of which played out right here in New York City on Wall Street. My father's experience having to sit behind Nazis, and my own experience, lack of access to life. I went to jail, and I've never been the same since.
We serve a God who does exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think. Lean over and tell somebody, I don't know what you're going through, but we serve a God that's not just enough, but he's more than enough. Ah, glory. Yeah. Hallelujah. Jehovah Jireh, hallelujah, my provider. You are more than enough for me, oh God. Jehovah Rapha, you're my healer. For by his stripes, yes, I've been set free. Can I get a witness? Jehovah Shammah, no God is with me. Yes, he is. There to supply every last one of my needs. Oh, Daddy, for you've been more than enough. Oh, I wish I had somebody that would believe that. So much more. Than enough. He's our Father and he's more than enough for you and for me. My provider. with me, there to supply every last one of my needs. And God, you are more than enough, so much more than. Put those hands together and give God some praise. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, you are more than enough. You are more than enough for me. I call him Jehovah. God is a healer. By his stripes, I am set free. You are Jehovah. God is with me. There to supply. Every last one of my needs, and you're the God that's more than enough. Stay right there, stay right there. More than enough. He's everything I need him to be. A doctor in the sick room, a lawyer in the courtroom, a bridge over troubled waters, a friend to the friendless. He will be, he will be, he will be, he will be, oh, more than enough. Everything I need him to be, everything I want him to be, he will be. You see, he's the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath. I'm a king's kid. I've been adopted into God's family. I got rights. I got rights. I got rights. I serve a God who does good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, the God that's more. He will be, he will be. He'll be more than enough. Oh, that sounds so good, y'all. Prophesy to yourself. He will be more than enough. He'll be more than enough. So much more than enough. I can always count on him. He'll never let me down. He's always been right by my side. And he's a godless. And he's a God that, and he's a God that, more than enough. I gotta go, y'all. So much more than enough. Somebody ought to give him some praise. Somebody ought to give him some praise. When the praises go up, when the praises go up, blessings come down. Yeah, God.
It was a time of great struggle, a passionate, emotional battle, where the color of your skin kept you from the one thing they knew was worth risking their lives for.
I became one of 8 students who went downtown to demonstrate at the public library on Main Street.
More than a decade, starting in the mid-50s, the civil rights movement raged on. Nowhere was the divide more deeply rooted than the Deep South.
This is a demonstration in Montgomery, Alabama, led by Dr. Martin Luther King. In contrast to the violence of many marches, this one is held peacefully.
Young people led the movement. In Greensboro, North Carolina, 4 college students held sit-ins at the Woolworth's lunch counter. The sit-ins spread to lunch counters across the country. Joan Madison Daniels, one of the Greenville 8, describes how segregation affected her community.
One lady came and said, "We don't serve niggas." We said, "We didn't order any." It was a certain, but we wanted to make a change. Even in the swimming pool, they had one big swimming pool in the park, and we would ride through the park, you couldn't swim. So one day some students went and got in the pool. Do you know they filled that pool up with dirt and planted flowers so we wouldn't be able to swim?
That chapter begins around 1959. That year, baseball great Jackie Robinson came to Greenville. As the first African American to play Major League Baseball, Robinson was active with the NAACP. While at the Greenville downtown airport, he was threatened with arrest after refusing to leave the white waiting room. It was just the spark the upstate needed. Hundreds marched that day. A few months later, a group of students was arrested at the all-white Greenville Public Library on North Main Street.
I came home from college in 1959. I'd been away for 6 months, a very long time for the first time. I was anxious to get back home and then to school.
This was supposedly a public facility. If we were taxed to support this facility, why should they have 2 different facilities? Why couldn't we go there? That was just school attire.
Ben Downs was one of the students taken to jail and part of a group later called the Greenville 8. He was just 16 years old and a student at Sterling High School.
They wanted people who, if we had been spat on or called the big N-word or even hit, set upon, we were supposed to reply in a peaceful manner.
Reverend Jesse Jackson was one of those courageous 8.
I had to do a speech with 25 annotated bibliographies. I rushed to the colored library, and Mrs. Smith said, "I don't have this number of books, but my friend at the Central Library does. So you take the note to her, and I will give her a call." By the time I got to the library, 2 police were standing with her. It didn't occur to me why they were there. I know police don't ordinarily hang around libraries. So I gave her the note. She said, "I'll give you the books in 6 days." I said, "But 6 days is too long. I need to do my work now. I have to write the speech and memorize it, prepare to present it. I need your help. Can I go and get the books downstairs?" No one was in the library but the 2 of us. The police said, "You heard what she said." I then got the message that I was faced with arrest imminently if I did not leave the library. I went out back to the library, and I cried. I felt so humiliated and so brokenhearted that I'd been denied access to those books on a timely basis. Well, I came home that summer from school, and several of my classmates had the same experience. We met at Springfield Baptist Church under the leadership of Reverend James Hall. And we determined to go downtown to use that library if it meant going to jail to dramatize our displeasure. And I shall never forget, we got the preparation. If they curse you, don't say anything back. If they taunt you, don't respond. To put a cigarette on your neck, be prepared to take the hit. We must sacrifice for this higher cause. So we went through all the preparation, and then you'll probably be arrested, but take the arrest in stride. It's a fight for dignity. So after all the work had been done, we rushed down to the library, walked down there together, and the police were there. They knew we were coming. So if you don't leave we're going to arrest you. We'll give you 3 warnings. And so when they said you have to go, we left, went back to church. Reverend Hall said, why are you back so quickly? We said, because they said if we didn't leave, they were going to arrest us. He said, I sent you there to get arrested. Go back and go to jail.
A few hours later, the Greenville 8 entered the library and began to quietly read books and magazines. Refusing to leave when instructed, the police were called, and all 8 were arrested for disorderly conduct.
That became a defining moment in my life, a defining moment in our struggle in South Carolina and the South to end those legal barriers.
In an oral history, Margaret Crosby, one of the Greenville 8, describes what it was like to go to jail as a teenager.
After that, we got hate phone calls. Our names were in the paper. Our telephone numbers were in the paper as if we were real bad criminals.
The reaction to the library protest varied. Whites refused to support integrated facilities. Some older blacks were also against the library protest and viewed the Greenville 8 as troublemakers. Jackson's own stepfather criticized him for how the protest and jailing reflected on their family. The Greenville City Council voted to close both libraries indefinitely, rather than be ordered to integrate the facilities. Pressure to reopen the library mounted as citizens of both races demanded a solution. D.D. Wright, one of the Greenville 8, wrote that the principle of maintaining a dual library system came at a steep price. She argued in an editorial that the integration of libraries is not only morally right, but it is also less expensive as well. On September 19th, all city libraries opened. While there was no mention of the word integration, the intent was clear. All citizens with a legitimate need to use the library were welcomed.
I think 2016 would be 60 years since I first went to jail. Look back over a career of marching, and I thank God for allowing me to be alone this run. I keep marching, keep fighting as long as I shall live. To fight to the dream of all of us being treated equally, respected, and protected. God bless you, my friends, and keep hope alive.
Hi, I'm Todd Yeary here outside Dr. King's workshop, the Rainbow Push headquarters, where people of goodwill from all walks and all places gather as comrades in the movement for justice and equality. Social justice movements have been birthed in the imaginations of people in places just like this. You can be a part of this justice movement too. Join Rainbow Push as we fight for justice in the 21st century. Go to rainbowpush.org or dial 773-FREEDOM and remember, keep hope alive.
Ladies and gentlemen, as difficult as it may be to believe, it was 60 years ago, July 16th, 1960, that the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. was arrested for the first time in his life, committing an act of civil disobedience. And we have Reverend Jackson here now to share that experience with us. Reverend Jackson, how you doing, man?
Very well, sir.
Congratulations on your 60th anniversary. First of all, a lot of people don't know the story. They know about you at A&T. But before you went to A&T, you went to the University of Illinois, right?
Well, there as a football player, and actually what happened was I was in a senior speech class, and I had to do a speech with 25 annotated bibliographers. I was home for the first time, and I went to the colored library. They didn't have enough books. So go to the downtown, my friend will give you the books. I got there, and 2 police were with her, and they were laughing. I thought it was not coincidental. And she said, I'll give it to you in a week. I said, it's just 2 of us. Let me get them there. Please hear what she said, and I got the message. I cried. I was hurt. Leave my friends the first time I hadn't seen them at 6 months mark. So that summer, that January actually, Jackie Robinson came to Greenville during a state NAACP convention. Mrs. Hall at the airport refused to sit in the colored section because it was dirty.
And so that was Reverend Hall of 1,500 people, January the 1st. The city in Greenville was February the 1st. So it was a pregnant moment, Mark. July the 16th, we gathered, eight of us gathered together at Springfield Baptist Church. Reverend Hall was pastor. Went to the library. We were arrested.
At the time, were Black students even allowed to stay in the library or be in there for any length of time?
No. Matter of fact, there was not a single Black policeman, no deputy sheriff, no highway patrolman. We couldn't run the room with Holiday Inn. We couldn't advise him with Howard Johnson. We live in a race bubble. In your bubble, you may develop a comfort zone. You're equally separate. But the resources are not equal. You know, Christians have segregated dreams, segregated ambitions. You know, your ambition is to become a legislator or a congressperson. So that was limited. We didn't feel inferior, our conditions were inferior. We felt good about ourselves, but our conditions were quite limited.
And it's interesting, you were just there for knowledge and education. You went there to get books for your homework assignment, and that was denied you.
Well, actually, you know, in slavery time, if you got taught raping a slave, you were not charged. You got taught beating a slave. That's how teaching them to read and write. It's always clear that reading is the key to revolution. Literacy is the key to liberation. It's essentially that most of our struggle is around libraries and transportation. You read, write, count, and move is not compatible with slavery.
Right, it can't coexist. Did you know then that you'd be going to jail for 60 years thereafter? Did you imagine that?
Well, I didn't. It was really somewhat impulsive. You know, we hit the outer edges of segregation. There's no Black working downtown at J.C. Penney, Belkson, selling clothes. We couldn't sell shoes. We didn't own the service. We were just locked out. But again, we developed a comfort zone. So once I lost my fear of jails and death that day. I remember coming home, and I felt good about what we had done. And my dad was sitting in the street in the number 2 tub, relaxing. And so I thought he would be happy. He said, son, I said, y'all downtown, I said, on television downtown, you're hungry? I said, no, sir. You usually go up kind of where y'all do that kind of stuff. That he was afraid the house would be bombed and mother would be killed in the beauty shop next door. I learned my courage from him. One of the dad was a judge at 3 different buildings for the same man. One Sunday, I was about 8 or 9, my brother was about 5 or 6. And his boss came in, on the prisoner, hey, Charlie, come here. Dad was buffing. I said, come here, you should show up for his friends. He said, if you don't come, I'm going to kick you. Dad stopped, took his belt off with his big wad of chain, keys on chain. So you take, I can't stop you kicking me. You can't take the leg back you were kicking with. You know my wife is sick and it's my only job. But he showed dignity over. My politics here, my dad is converted that man that Sunday afternoon. So I thought Dad would be proud of what I'd done. But Dad, in fact, was afraid that if we, in fact, protested, that we'd be bombed. And eventually they did burn our high school down. They burned the church down that we left from Springfield Baptist Church in Greenville.
Mm-hmm. You all were arrested on that day. How long did they keep you in jail, Reverend?
It was a process in 2000 process. It didn't put us in jail per se.
Okay.
The reason I was slow to talk about it, I can't brag about it too much. We were told in the orientation, the Christians don't respond. They put a cigarette in your neck, take it. Be nonviolent, be disciplined. So we were prepared for the worst. You probably arrest. We got down. The police said, "Now, by the count of 3, if you don't leave, we're going to arrest you." 1, 2. We turned around, went back to church. Hall said, "Why get back? They're going to arrest you." He said, "Hell, I sent you to get arrested." We went back the second time. Yeah, maybe we go to jail. And so really it was an exciting moment in our lives. And I was talking with 6 of my classmates and GI mates last night.
Oh, really?
Maurice here, one of our mates, the professor at Clemson. Another one, the First Baptist University of South Carolina. So really we were chosen well. We had the discipline to take on the fight.
Yeah. And the bug bit you then, didn't it?
Yeah, it became a struggle for dignity. I went to A&T that fall.
Yes, sir.
The citizens had regarded A&T February the 1st, but by that fall, they were back as usual. And SNCC was formed that spring in Raleigh at Shaw University. John Lewis and Julian Vaughn and Marion Barry and Alva Dawson and Diane Nash and Ella Holmes Norton, that group. And so essentially we were thinking about sitting in Greenville. Nashville planning to it with Jim Lawson, Shane Bevel, and Bernard Lafayette. Greensboro did it like 200-mile radius. It was a pregnant moment in time. And I think we represent our generation well. We hooked up at SCLC with Dr. King. And I was the NAACP youth member at the time. And the Public Accommodation Bill was a slightly, the day he gave the speech in Washington, from Texas to Florida to Maryland, we could use a single public toilet. My high school class could take a picture on London State Capitol. Thinking about where we are today, black mayors in Montgomery, Alabama, and Selma, Alabama, and Birmingham, Alabama. Dr. King never saw a black mayor in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We had 4 since he was killed.
Yeah.
And what it means to have 60 blacks in the Congress. 3 more blacks elected last Tuesday in New York and in Virginia. And that's because for the first time, and this way, some whites began to vote for blacks the first time. These guys won in majority white districts. There's something afoot now that's worth embracing.
Do you see in many of the young people today, in this moment of reckoning, Black Lives Matter and all that, people still out demonstrating in the street? Our friend Tamika Mallory arrested to try to get Breonna Taylor's killers arrested just on yesterday. Do you see the activism of this generation as similar to what you did 60 years ago?
Yeah, it must be applauded. One thing we did, we connected with, we didn't start something new, we extended something. That's important because SNCC started, it didn't last. Panthers didn't last. Those who were connected to Dr. King was connected to the National Baptist Convention. Kicked out, so no convention, but my point is, movements last, our movement must have roots, must have depth, survive the long haul. But this generation of protests is magnificent. I appreciate every moment of it, and I march whenever I can.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate you still marching.
But see, what concerns me about Louisville, Breonna Taylor, 60 is the home of Ali. 70% of West Louisville doesn't have internet.
Yeah.
So while we focus on the police, be careful. Police represent the epidermis, the outer layer. This thing is bone deep, and inheritance and access mean more effort and hard work. And so it's not police patrol, they don't control. But beyond police at some point, there's those who control even the police. The banks that will not lend, the insurance companies will not invest. Access to mass media, to development. So while I applaud the struggle against police while patrolling, it's important. You know, in Minnesota, first time policemen have been arrested in the history of Minnesota for killing a black. But we talked with the prosecutor in the county. You can figure out when what's going to took over, what's his name, Ellison.
Keith Ellison, Attorney General.
Had 4 of them arrested. It's the power of the vote, power of a multiracial vote. I mean, you couldn't be the state attorney general Minnesota would let us have a lot of white votes. When the guy was killed in Atlanta, Georgia, Paul Howard, charged with murder. So the vote and march and defeat and multiracial coalitions really do work. Vote, march, and multiracial coalitions really do work. They are three biggest weapons, really.
Before we go, we'd be remiss if we didn't get another word from you. We always appreciate a word from you about the importance of voting, even this upcoming November. You are the one individual who has registered more voters than anyone in history. As we go, talk to us about how important it is to keep the vote front of mind and us voting front of mind as we head toward November.
Dr. King said one of the huge factors about voting was that when Emmett Till was killed and the killers testified in court, the jury knew who the killers were. They were almost bragging about done it. They was out like 30 minutes prior. I would have been short enough if we hadn't smoked a cigarette. There was no blacks on the jury. One black juror could have hung the jury. The New York Times asked one of the jurors, why didn't you convict the juror? I can imagine white men in jail for killing a nigger. We had only those who registered votes can serve on juries. Fast forward to Minnesota, I said to one of the young men in Minnesota, said, it's registered vote. I'm not in the system. I say, if George Floyd's killer came to court, would you convict him? I wouldn't talk, I'd convict him. I said, not let you register vote. Although the register can serve as jurors. So this thing has that. So whether it's the case of Minnesota, the case of Atlanta, well, the day before George Floyd's, the Tuesday before George Floyd's funeral, a black woman is now mayor of Ferguson, Missouri. That's a big deal, you know. And the right-wing congressman from Iowa was defeated. The vote. I had a conference call, you were part of it about a month ago. It brought tears to my eyes. Black mayor from Montgomery, Selma, Birmingham, Moss Point, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. I don't take that for granted, man. The vote has power. That's why they try to take it from us. Because we 5,000 black were lynched in 1940 about the vote. We'll vote with the passion this time. It will make a difference in November.
Reverend Jesse Jackson, folks, a protege of mine, wrote an article in the Huffington Post, I think it was last year, and the headline was, Jesse Jackson is the most important political figure in U.S. history. Brother Jahan Jones wrote that. You all should check that out. Reverend Jackson, happy 60th anniversary of your first arrest, and thank you for every arrest you've made and every time you've been arrested, I should say, since then. God bless you, Reverend.
Can I make this point? Zinzi Mandela died this week. My heart is so heavy.
Yes.
Nelson Mandela's daughter, Zinzi, a beautiful soul she was. I don't know how she died, but pray for the Mandela family, please.
Yes, we all should. Thank you, Reverend. We love you.
Love you.
They used to say we were just 3/5 of a man, and we had to fight to be fully recognized. Back then, being counted meant marches, pickets, jail cells, and worse. One way you can show we count in less than 10 minutes is to take the 2020 census. Be a warrior for your community. Be counted and make certain adequate funds and political representation are allocated to your state and your neighborhood. Just select one of these easy options. By phone, call 844-330-2020, online at mycensus2020.gov, or simply mail in your survey. Never forget, you are somebody. Don't delay. Take the census today.
I am somebody.
Dr. Kim, I went to jail with a group of 7 students, July 17, 1960, almost 60 years ago. We never stopped moving. I lost a few jail cells and death. We never stopped moving. I thought it was time to write some of it down so the older generation can learn how we did and what we did and how global it was. Whether speaking about Mandela in South Africa, India, Qatar, Gandhi in India, here at home. This book tells the story, so please get it and give it to your friends. Read it, let's argue about it, let's discuss it.
Yep, so the book is Keeping Hope Alive, Sermons and Speeches of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. It's quite a good collection. You know, we've got sermons and speeches from around the globe because you have made such a global impact, not just here in the U.S., but around the world.
Thank you for tuning in to our International Saturday morning broadcast. We need your support. Here are ways to give to Rainbow Push Coalition. Text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444 to support the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and Rainbow Push Coalition. When you shop, Amazon gives. Visit Amazon Smile and select Push for Excellence as your charitable organization by starting your shopping at smile.amazon.com.
Get involved with the movement.
Somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Join the movement.
If you're not a member, become a member.
I am somebody. Fighting the most important battles for freedom and justice for all.
You made us change. Oh, trying to bring closer.
Join Rainbow Push.
But you're not pushing me away.
Join the movement.